and welcome to another episode of the APA Poolplayer Nation Podcast. I'm Becky Johnston. I'm here with Jason Bowman.
No comment.
We will get to that later. Jason, how's it going?
Everything's good.
Good.
I'm all finally recovered from the long trip to Las Vegas, rested up, and kind of back at it. So
Back at it.
yeah, it's a marathon out there.
It is, and we'll talk about that just here in a minute. But before we get started, I want to tell everybody to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date on all our latest podcasts, all the other content that we post out on our YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button.
Please.
Please.
And I think your
Please and
performance
thank you.
review's coming up in the next couple months. So please, on behalf of Becky and the rest of
Please.
the marketing team, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need you.
We need you.
We need you there.
Please and thank you, as well
Yeah.
as all of our other social channels.
Yeah, go ahead and like
but
our Facebook page and our
TikTok
Instagram.
channel.
Instagram.
Yes,
Yeah.
Instagram.
We need some Instagram
please.
love.
We do need some Instagram love.
Good. Now that we've covered that,
Let's talk about Vegas.
all right, let's talk about Vegas.
Let's talk about Vegas. So Vegas was good. Like you said, it was a marathon.
Always is.
Always is.
Yeah.
The one thing that I've heard is there was a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people. It was it was the largest of the events that we've had, with the exception of the COVID
Right.
year, where we basically had 2 years of participation
Right.
out there. And you definitely could feel it. You know, I mean, there's always a lot of people there. I mean,
Right.
if you've been there, you know, there's always a lot of people. But I noticed it more, usually there's some days where we're in transition from like one event to the next, especially like 8-ball to 9-ball. And, you'll see a little bit of a lull, like it kind of dies down and then it comes back
Sure.
in terms of people. And just didn't see that really this year. I mean, I felt like from the first day until that second Friday, it was just packed everywhere, and which is a good thing.
Of course.
I mean, you don't want it to be sparse. You want it to be packed. But you definitely notice it, like when you're trying to get on the elevators, or you're
Yep.
trying to get down the halls, or you're, trying to get something to eat at the food court.
Right.
There's just a lot of people, and it's a good sign though, and it means people obviously are having a good time and they want to be there. But it's one of the reasons that we're going to have some big changes coming in
Yeah.
2025
Good point.
with the schedules and why
Mhm.
we're moving some of those events to the April event, because everything just keeps growing and nothing seems to be slowing down.
No.
And although people are like, "Well, move it somewhere else," I don't know that people really think through that comment when they want to move somewhere else. I mean, the Westgate's been really great for us. Most people are able to stay there. I realize not everyone can stay there, but I'm not sure there's a property in Las Vegas that can house, because you're talking almost 20,000 people.
Right.
That's a pretty conservative estimate. I know 16,000 participants, but that doesn't include like Mini Mania.
Right.
Doesn't include people that just come out with other, their friends kind of thing.
Yeah, people bring their spouses and friends with
So
them.
yeah, I mean, it's not like we can just move further down the strip to, maybe MGM is one that could maybe accommodate us. But I think the other thing that people don't think about, and I hear this sometimes, it's like, it's $8 for a beer, and it's like, yeah, that's at the Westgate. Go down to MGM,
down the
and it's going to be
strip.
$12 for a
Exactly.
beer, or $13. So, you have all these things that you have to balance to make sure it's a good experience. I think we like where we're at in terms of the numbers, but we are going to make some changes to try to kind of balance out the two events. So April will be much larger next year.
Much larger.
And then August, I think, will probably still seem very large as well because
will.
of the growth that we'll see between now and then. But overall, it was a great event, no doubt about it.
Yeah, big event. We saw, I know Dr. Q, I know Florian was there. Florian lives in Vegas, but Florian was there, and Jeanette was there. I heard a lot of people got to see Jeanette while
Yeah,
she
was there for most of the
The Black
trip. I know
Widow.
she had one day where I think she had been playing some challenge matches the night before and kind of hurt her back. She's always going to be struggling with some health
Right.
things, I think, from here on out. But she was there. She was actually promoting her new book. She's got that new book out, her memoir, her autobiography. I've got a copy. I've not had a chance to read it just yet. But I did notice she had some nice acknowledgments in there, mentioned APA and the members and things like that. So I'm excited to read it. Obviously I know a
too.
lot of her story, but just the fact that she had the 30 for 30 a couple years ago. Now she's got
Right.
this autobiography. I mean, you start to see Jeanette Lee is the biggest icon that pool has ever had and
Right.
maybe will ever have frankly. I mean, she's
Absolutely.
just, everywhere I go, when somebody asks me about what I do for a living and I start talking about pool, the number one question I get every time is, do you know the Black Widow? Do you know Jeanette Lee? Do you know the Asian woman with the leather pants? Sometimes they don't know her name, but they know her image, and that's a credit to her. I mean, she's cultivated her brand over the years, and so it was great to have her back in Vegas. I know the fans, the participants really appreciate the fact that they're able to get up close and personal and interact with her, and I think it's good for them. But even Florian and Dr. Q, every time I went by, the exhibition area, just packed every single show.
That's great.
And I just love, all the players that we work with in that capacity, they're all great people, number one, but they all have this ability to reach really beyond like the pool playing community to the general public. That's why we work with them.
We do.
And so, yeah, it was great to have all of them out there, and I know that everybody that was out there enjoyed being able to interact with them for sure.
They did. We saw lots of pictures on social media. I know you guys were all sharing photos and videos on stories, and we saw them on some of our posts and stuff like that. So that's always really great to see.
Sure.
What else? What else did we see out there?
A lot of good matches. A lot of good matches in Pool Dog Arena. I mean, Ava and I do the commentary. Ava Lawrence and I do the commentary, and it seemed like every day we were like, can you believe how close this match is? I always get a little, I won't say nervous, but I always do get a little anxious for the participants in Pool Dog Arena because, like, I can't imagine playing in that environment, and it's just, like, so you're already kind of anxious, but then with these close matches, I mean, it seemed like every individual match is hill, and the team matches are going 4 and 5 matches deep, and it was just like it could go either way, and so it's great to watch. In fact, if you haven't watched it, you need to go to that YouTube channel that you need to subscribe to today. Go back and watch those matches because they are fantastic in terms of just entertainment value and competitiveness and all the great things that happen out there.
Yeah, so many good matches. Like Jason said, go back and watch them all.
Yeah.
We actually had a chance to talk to one of the winners of one of the matches.
Yeah, 8-ball world champions.
Yeah,
not just one of the winners of the matches. These are your 8-ball world champions.
The granddaddy of all of our
they're like
matches.
kings and queens of the world right now.
They were really, really great to talk to. But we had Bree and Brad, the winners of what's the team name, Jason?
You're not my real mom.
We had a chance to catch up with them and talk to them about being the winners, being our 8-ball world champions. So let's take a look at that. We are now joined with Bree and Brad from our 2024 8-ball world champions. You're not my real mom.
You're not my real mom.
You're not my real mom. Had to let Jason say that.
Had to do it.
I know, right?
Had to do it.
How are you guys?
We're great. I mean, it's still not sitting in, but we're super happy.
Yeah, I think it doesn't feel real.
It still doesn't feel real, huh?
No.
How have things been since winning?
Crazy. I mean, I feel like we walk in places, and the first time we went to league afterwards, like the pool hall was clapping the second we walked in. It's just crazy. You almost feel like a celebrity.
Yeah, so you said that the pool hall was clapping, but, like, what about the team that you played that night? I mean, like, you've got the biggest target on your backs ever now. You're the world 8-ball champions. Like, what is that like? You go back from Vegas back to local league, and now everybody, I mean, obviously everybody wants to beat you, and were your opponents that night clapping too?
No.
I think that's the first time. I remember reaching out to my league operator after, and I said to Dave, you didn't tell us about the target that this was going to put on us. I mean, every rack, everybody's like, oh, we just beat a rack of a world champion team. Like, it's crazy. So I think everybody was overall super happy for us. They put us up on the TV screens back home. We walked in. They had pictures that you guys put up, like the graphics. They hung 2 pictures of our team up.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and so, like, it was such a close match there in Vegas. I actually went, before our interview here, I went back and kind of watched it. And, I mean, I've been at APA 25 years, and I don't know that I've ever seen a match quite as close. I mean, almost every single matchup went hill. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm just curious, like with the arena, the environment, all that mixed in, like how did you manage the emotions, the nerves? I mean, you know what I mean? The feeling of competing in there.
Well, I'll answer. You can answer it because you played.
I think it's pretty nerve-wracking. So it hit us when we hit the final, what was it, 16 final 8 teams?
Yeah,
you moved us to the arena. We didn't know, so we were waiting on a match assignment. And I remember waiting in the main ballroom, and all weekend long, our team, as we passed that ballroom where the arena was, we talked about wanting to play in there. And I remember talking to the girls at the paperwork desk, and I said, it's really weird. Our match cleared a while ago, and we still don't have a table assignment. Do you know like where we're going to be playing so we don't miss it? And she said, we're going to be playing in the arena. And I think like the whole team got goosebumps, and we didn't realize how real it was. It had been a really long night of pool, so when we got in that night, I think we were all like really, really exhausted, but at the same time, the adrenaline rush was just insane. And being able to play that first match in there helped prepare us for the next day. We've all been playing together for a really long time, and the team's been around a long time, and we've been used to being in high-stress situations. So I don't think we were super nervous until it got down to the final table. So the quarterfinals and the semis were fine. And then I don't think I was nervous until I got up in my match and I realized what a different environment it is to be on camera. And Canada, huge shout out to them. They had such a huge cheering section, and we lost most of ours because 9-ball had started. So, I mean, they had so many fans in the stand, and that was pretty nerve-wracking too.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. And just doing the commentary, I'm always nervous for the players in there, and it's hard to imagine. I mean, I've played local league, and like we've been in division playoffs and played for division championships, but to have to do it in that arena with a couple hundred people live there in the arena, you've got maybe 1,000, a couple thousand wherever across the globe watching, the lights, the different table. I mean, it's just got to be kind of an overwhelming feeling, right?
Yeah, I think the adjustment on the table was crazy too. So as a skill level 6, everyone on my team kind of always expects me to play my very best game. And I started down 2-0, and I still remember the first shot. So I took a shot, and I remember hearing Ava comment on it after. I drew the ball back, and the table was so fast and slick, I locked myself up. And I was like, wow, national, or the huge exposure that we had and all the people watching. And my very first shot I took as a 6. I left myself no second shot. And I'm like, I look terrible. And I think in that moment, the nerves were just overwhelming. I don't think anybody realizes how much more pressure there is. I also remember you guys have the cameras kind of like on a cart or a gimbal. And I remember going down to take one of my shots. And as I get down on the shot, the guy's like, and he gets down right in front of me, and I'm like, oh my God. I actually I can go back to the match and kind of laugh at that moment because it's so unreal. The pressure is insane, but it's so much fun at the same time. I hope everybody gets the opportunity to shoot a match like that.
Do you go back and watch it after the fact?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, we watched it on the plane home. We watched it that night. We thought about having a watch party at the house so that way everybody can come and watch it again. Like, we're obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's cool. And the production value of it is so good, too. I tell everybody, I think as far as amateur pool goes, I don't think anyone gets that experience. I mean, it's as close to the big name in pro pool right now is Matchroom, right? And being in that arena and with that setup, it's the closest you can get to a Matchroom setup.
Nice. Well, we appreciate that
We
feedback.
do
That's
very
good to
much.
hear. Bree, I'm curious, like you didn't get to play in the match, right? It went 4 matches deep, but had it gone to that 5th and decisive final match, I got to assume you were slated to play in that match, correct? And if so, like were you relieved or were you disappointed that you didn't get a chance to play it out for the 30,000?
I think I was a little bit more relieved than actually having to play it. After seeing the first player on our team, Joseph, go, and he was saying like how fast the table was rolling, and I'm just looking and I'm like, I don't want it to come down to me. Like if I lose it for the team, I would be devastated. And I was like, I hope I don't have to go. I knew I was going to have to play either, I think, a 5 or a 6. So that was a little scary, knowing that I had to play such a better player. So I was very happy that Brad won it, but I was ready if I had to play. I have been put in situations like that before. That was how we got to Vegas the one year. It came down to me. So I can handle pressure, but I don't know if I could have handled that amount of pressure. So I'm very happy that he won it for us.
You're right. I got you. And so that night, after the victory, the big victory in Vegas, like how did your team celebrate? What did you guys do that evening, to cap off the big win?
Slept.
I was looking for something a little
I thought you'd be out in Vegas partying.
A little more PG-17 or whatever.
We had all these ideas about what we were going to do. I think it just got a little chaotic because half of our team had to fly out that night.
Oh.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so like they were on the red eye to fly out, and we had played pool all day, so we were exhausted.
So I think we went out to dinner that night with a couple of the people that stayed on the team, and then I don't think people realize, but when you make it that deep, and this was our first time ever going anywhere close to this deep. The farthest run we've ever made in Vegas in all the years we've played has been like 129, I think. So you don't realize how much pool you play there at the end and how valuable sleep is. And every night there's such little sleep, and you're trying to mix in like trying to eat here or there's just not a lot of time. So I think we really celebrated a couple days after, and we're still celebrating back home. So our league operator, Dave Piotrowski, coming up the 25th of this month, he rented out a rooftop bar in Atlantic City that's like a beachfront thing, which is really cool, and he's throwing us a private party at the rooftop bar. Our local pool hall threw us a party. Our parents cooked dinner and took us out to eat, and then we're going to celebrate next month with the team together too. So we've done a ton of celebrating, but not a ton in Vegas.
Nice. Well, it sounds like
cool.
the victory celebration is still going strong up there in New Jersey. That's pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Kind of want to get in on that rooftop party,
I know,
frankly.
right?
I might have to make a trip
to
up there, yeah.
Call Dave.
Take the show on the road.
We need to call Dave.
Yeah.
So tell us, how you said that your team has been together for a while. How long has it been together, and how did your team get together?
So this team that won has only been together for 2 years, but we've all separately have played with each other for long periods of time.
Yeah, this is kind of like a weird mix of a bunch of teams. So I think one thing people realize in the APA pretty quickly is you want to play with all of your friends, and as you continue to play with your friends and people get better, which is the goal, you need to create more teams. So a lot of these players had started on different teams that we've had over the years, and then we've been able to mix this team together. So Brittany Connolly, who you guys saw play, she's our skill level 4. Brittany and I have played together since she was 18 years old, since she was old enough to play pool. So we've been playing together for a very, very long time. Whereas Bryant, who we met through JT, we've only been playing with for 2 years. So a lot of the team has been playing together for more than 10 years. This team has only existed, though, in this format for maybe 2 years.
2, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. And I know the team name, right? The You're Not My Real Mom is a sister team or a cousin team, however you want to say it, of another team up there for you guys, which is You're Not My Real Dad, right? I remember we talked about that before the match. But where does that name, the You're Not My Real Dad, I guess, where does that come from? Because it's kind of a unique one.
I'm going to take it, Sean Ford. So you all have, I'm sure all of us have one friend that's the life of the party and the one that everyone wants to hang out with and spend time with. For all of us, that's Sean. And whenever we tell Sean to do something it's a timeout or there's a certain match time, you need to be here for the match at this time, his response is always, "You're not my real dad." So, because I'm the one who's needs to corral Sean because no one really wants to be the one responsible. So I think I just evolved into dad. So now we walk into a room and everybody screams "dad" across the room. And then we had to beat that team in our qualifier to come out here. and we're all best friends. So it was kind of emotional when it happened, and we dedicated this team's name and this team's run to that team. And she's mom, like we all call her mom now. So it just became, you're not my real mom. So whenever she calls time out or tells us to be somewhere, we always remind her, you're not my real mom.
Nice. Great story. I love that.
That is
I love
good.
that one.
Very good.
Excellent.
So I know there's a couple of couples on the team too, right?
A couple couples.
A couple of couples,
Yeah.
right? Did you guys meet in APA, or did you guys come in as couples on APA?
So we met playing pool, but not necessarily APA, but we did meet playing pool. I think that Britt and JT actually met at a Montreal event, so an APA Montreal event.
Oh, cool.
I put them both on one of my teams there, and they met for the first time there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And then so we talk about Sean being funny and starting trouble. Sean also posted in the chat that Brian and Travis are a couple. Brian and Travis are both married. They're not a couple. That's just Sean. So, yeah, just to clarify, they're both happily married. Not each other.
Got it. Nice. So how did you guys get involved in APA in the first place?
So I got involved. My brother played in the APA. He no longer does. He's in Texas now. But about like 8 years ago, he asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, I don't even know like how to play any pool. Like I don't even know how to hold a cue. What do you mean? And he was like, it's okay. Like we'll teach you. So I started with that. But I mean, I've been playing for 8 years, but I feel like the last 4 years it's been like I'm very, very involved. I'm on multiple teams, and it's almost like APA has become our life.
We play a lot of APA. Yeah.
We can relate to that.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, we can.
Nice.
And then I think for me, I started playing pool when I was young, so I was like 14 years old, and I remember going into the pool hall, and there wasn't a juniors league by us at the time. So there's a pool hall called near us called Atlantic City Billiard Club. And back in the day, when I started playing, there used to be about like 18 or 20 teams there a night playing in-house. And I would go in and watch these teams play, and I just waited until I was 18. And as soon as I was 18, I created the worst team in the history of pool with me and a bunch of my friends that were all 18. And then as we kept playing, we got picked up by other teams. And so I've been playing since 2007.
Nice. Excellent.
So what advice would you guys give to people looking to start playing pool or looking to start to join APA?
I would say you don't need to know anything about it. If you want to have fun with your friends and just have a hobby. I mean, I have traveled more since I've been in the APA than I ever did. I've gone to, Montreal, Niagara. We went to, Syracuse for the Northeast
Syracuse,
Challenge.
New York. We've been to Vegas. A bunch over the years. Yeah.
I mean, it's like doing vacations with your friends all the time. You get to see your friends at least once or twice a week, depending on how many times you play a week. But I just think it's a cool experience. You get to enjoy, if you're competitive, you get to compete and spend time with your friends. I mean, that's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I think playing with your friends is a huge part of it. And I think the other part that makes us a little different is we don't stress anyone out. So everyone is there with the same common goal. Everyone wants to win. And I think where I see teams falter a little bit is when someone loses a match or someone misses a pivotal shot and the team gets really negative, and you see teams just absolutely melt down. Just keep in mind, as I think for the captains out there, keep in mind in the back of your head that everyone on the team wants to win. So if they lose and you make fun of them for losing or torture them for losing, you're only making it worse. So we always have like next man up mentality, and the second someone loses, we say we get it out of the way, the next man picks us up. So at one point we were actually down 4-1, I think, in the final 32 teams. So it doesn't look great for the team being down 4-1, but we never gave up for a second, and we came back. And I would say just don't stress. A lot of it's about mindset.
Nice. So some great advice there, and again from your 8-ball world champion. So always good to get some advice from them. Guys, we appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I hope you guys continue to enjoy that victory lap celebration up there in New Jersey, and definitely send us some pictures of that rooftop party, because
Yes,
that
please
sounds
do.
like right up my alley.
I'll live vicariously
about
through
that.
you
Dave
guys.
Petrowski's credit card. So,
Nice,
Yes.
nice. Excellent.
All right, Brad and Bree, thanks so much again.
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
They were great.
It was a good interview.
It was very good.
Good interview. Yeah, they're a good couple, cute couple. Say a lot of the right things, right? Like I
They
feel like
do.
there's like an APA commercial, right?
I know,
Their
right?
interview
They've
there.
been really great on social media too.
Yeah, yeah. So fun group, and like I said, a lot of great matches out there.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it wasn't just that 8-ball championship that was great. Like the 9-ball championship
Oh my
match went
gosh.
5 deep, and if you go, you should go back and watch the 9-ball match as well.
should.
There was a young lady, I think her name was Trinity. I think she was had just gone from a 2 to a 3, and she's
Mhm.
playing that final match for $20,000, and it's I don't want
It's
to ruin it for you, so
exciting.
go back and watch it. But anytime I see in particular a low skilled player
Mhm.
in the position to have that experience
Clinch
and
that championship.
yeah, to me, I'm
Yes.
like, that's what it's about, right?
It
Like, and
is.
I mean, the 8-ball championship was great. Brad's a skill level 6,
Right.
like you said, higher skilled player, and it was great that he could finish out that match. But part of me would have liked to have seen Bree play in that
Right.
5th match, or Trinity, who plays in the 9-ball championship, that you should go watch after you subscribe to our YouTube channel. But just it's really great matches this year.
Mhm.
It doesn't always go that way. I mean,
It doesn't.
frankly,
When we use that tagline where amateurs take center stage,
yeah.
and this is exactly where that
Yeah.
comes from.
Yeah, it was nice to hear him say that, to comment
Mhm.
on that, about that experience of playing in Pool Dog Arena. And shout out to our friends at Pool Dog as well,
Yes.
because they helped make that possible. But it was several years ago. I had been at the Moscone Cup, actually, in over in London, and I came back. I was over there with Bill Tufts, our tournament director, and a couple others, and we just started talking, and it was like, we need to give that experience to our members in Vegas. And
Mhm.
so they've done a really great job of kind of transforming that space.
Yes.
And I think we've delivered on that, and I do think people really, they want that experience now, and the Pool Dog Arena has become synonymous with success, and so it's just worked out really nicely. And overall, I think we're really proud of what we've
Mhm.
accomplished in that room, and the teams that are able to make it in there, they get the experience of a lifetime,
Mhm.
no doubt.
Very classy.
Yeah,
Very
for sure.
demure.
Yeah, good word. Big words from Becky today. And
You've
a great
seen that,
great
right?
interview. So, but yes, Vegas was good. Finally rested up. It was interesting what they said too. Like, I don't think people realize, if you're going to make a deep run in Vegas towards the end, it's going to be a real marathon.
Yes, it
You're
is.
going to be playing back-to-back rounds. You're going to go late into the evening. You're going to start early the next day, and the teams that can manage that the best, and
Mhm.
it doesn't always happen that way, because some people get a little too indulge a little
Saucy.
bit too much in the Vegas
Little too
experience,
saucy.
that it's tough for them to handle that marathon that it
They
is. But
do.
they handled it well, and they are your 8-ball world champions.
We have
So.
some really great. We got shout out to I know it's our team, but like our team got some really great shots of those pictures
Yeah.
of those that you can find on our Facebook page and our Instagram.
Yeah.
Again, so go check those out too. We got some really great like action shots of those, like emotional shots,
moments.
Really
Yeah, no doubt.
moments from those too.
I feel like ever since we've kind of converted Pool Dog Arena to what it is,
Mhm.
and with the production itself, you see more reaction now from
Right.
players, because they've seen other players in there and how they reacted. I'll never forget, like, I think it was the year right after, or when we first came back from COVID, and like, I think there was a doubles team, like 2 guys playing, and
Oh, I
do you remember the one guy
Yeah.
like tackled the other one to the ground?
On the ground.
It was one of my favorite moments. I mean, he just like bum rushed him and knocked him over, and so I just, if you ever have the chance, if you ever win in Pool Dog Arena, know that we are looking for some great reactions
Yes, we are.
from you, because it makes for great video, makes for great photography, and a lot of times that stuff will make its way onto some of our materials and things
Yes.
too. We like to try to use those real moments where we can, and so yeah, Vegas was great as always.
Yeah, we now I know we've talked a lot about the winners, the finalists, the finals, and that,
Mhm.
but I thought we'd share some of the moments from a couple of the moments we got on social media from some of the other players
Oh,
who were
boy.
in Vegas. Yeah, we got a couple of them
Yeah.
from.
See how clean these are.
They're pretty clean.
Okay.
Actually, I think they're all clean.
They're all okay.
Yeah,
they're all PG.
we didn't really get any not PG, surprisingly, moments from you guys.
What happens in Vegas
I
stays
know.
in Vegas, I guess.
I guess
that
everyone
still applies.
kept their non-safe moments at home this time.
Okay.
At least
yeah, I'm
not
sure there. Well, there were a few I heard about that probably didn't make the list.
They
yes,
didn't make the list. So these are all pretty safe, I
All
think. So this one, the first one came from John M. Doyle. He said, playing my first match in Vegas as a 4 and winning and only racked 2 times, getting a 9 on the snap, and then went to a 5. It was one of my goals to reach a skill level 5, and to do it in Vegas was priceless. Love the experience, and I will be back for sure. So pretty cool. Looks like he was looking to up his skill level, which is always great.
I think it's a good attitude to have, too. Sometimes you run into a player, and it's like, I went up. And they're upset and they're disappointed, and that's what I'm always thinking. Like, that's great. That means you're playing well. And they're like, well, it messes with the numbers. And the whole point of it is to get better,
exactly.
Right? And you're doing something frequently enough, you should be getting better. So, good for John. Yeah, nice job. So,
awesome.
Next one's me, right?
Next
From
one's you.
Scott Gilbreth.
Oh,
if
this
I'm saying that
funny.
right. Scott said, I said if when we landed in Vegas and the sphere wasn't turned into a giant 8-ball, I wasn't getting off the plane, I was going back home. It wasn't, but I stayed anyway. So
we're glad you stayed.
That's the big sphere there that a lot of people have seen the social media stuff. It's funny that he mentions that though, because I think it was last year that the sphere opened, and it wasn't too far ahead of when we went out there. I think last August, or maybe it was April. I can't remember, but I actually tried to reach out to the folks at the Sphere to see what it would take. I'm like, we've got the world's largest pool tournament, and it'd be perfect for like a rolling 8-ball or a 9-ball, and I got no response.
I heard, wasn't it like insanely expensive?
It was, yeah. It was a couple months later. I saw some of the pricing, and I was like, wow.
Like insanely expensive.
And it makes sense. It's a huge, iconic. Imagine if you were, branding the Stratosphere or one of the other big, known places, but I do think it would still be perfect.
It would be very cool.
An 8-ball or a 9-ball. So we'll keep working on it. Never say never.
We're glad you stayed.
I'm
Scott.
glad. Hey, I'm glad Scott didn't decide to abort the trip and hop back on the plane just because of that. So.
All right. The next one comes from Barbara Spivak. Sorry if I said that wrong. Love how APA connects me to old friends. Moved away from South Florida 5 years ago, but by sheer coincidence, had the thrill of playing against my old teammates in the 8-ball tournament. And that's a picture of her playing. I know it's not, it's a little grainy, but that's a picture of her playing her old teammates. Like, how crazy is that?
Random.
Like,
that's
come out to
random.
Vegas 5 years later and you play your old teammates.
Yeah. That is one of the nice things about League, though, is, you move from one area of the country to another, and maybe you don't know anybody.
Right.
Or you're not real familiar with the area, but you can instantly find community by joining the APA league there. Right. Everybody's very accepting. So I do like that. But the randomness of suddenly running into your old team, and not only that, but playing against them is
800
wow.
teams.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Play your old team.
She didn't say who won, though.
She didn't say who won.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the old team then.
Yeah.
So.
Still pretty cool.
All right, so I got one here from Wendy Selfridge. Man, you gave me the hard last names, but so they got to shoot against a team from Japan, which they said their sportsmanship was unparalleled. They were clapping for our team. We had good shots. It was smiles all around, which is awesome. Yeah, there was a picture of them. I know I've talked to several different teams over the years that really enjoy being able to play the teams from Japan and now even Singapore. Coming from so far away. And there was a time, I don't know if they still do it, but like the Japanese teams for a while there would bring like little trinkets and like give them to the teams they played. And
that's really cool.
But yes, great sportsmanship and always a good story. I actually had a chance to. We did the challenge match between Japan and Singapore. Singapore got the better of Japan in that one. But that was a really fun exhibition. I think the players that were involved really enjoyed it. And so I had a chance to spend some time with both Nori, who's our league operator in Japan, and Eddie, our league operator in Singapore. And, it's really cool to just hang out with those guys and hear about the experience of APA, on the other side of the world.
Right.
And it is a little different, no doubt. particularly I think in Japan, they take it much more serious. I
Sure.
don't know that it's quite as social / maybe drinking if that's what you choose to do.
Right.
I understand the Singaporeans really like to party it up when
Oh,
they play.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I was on the elevator with a couple of them one night, and on my way back after a long day, and they're like, "Come over to our room," and
Really?
I was like, "Oh, I would love
That's
to," but
funny.
I just couldn't do it. I was so tired by that. But really great people, and yeah, if you get the opportunity to play against one of them, it's definitely a special experience, no doubt.
Very cool. Okay, so the last one here, Frankie Breben. She says, meet and greets with the pros. I had them each sign my team captain's team shirt. They came in 5th. So pretty cool. So she was there with Jeanette, Florian, and Dr. Q.
Yeah, got the trifecta going on.
Yeah, trifecta
I feel
there.
like Frankie, she seems
know
familiar. That name's familiar.
it
I want to
sounded
say she was
familiar
on
to me,
maybe a
too.
ladies team a couple years ago.
Maybe.
That maybe won or was a finalist. That name seems very
It
familiar
sounded
to me.
familiar to me, too. But
But I'm glad that
cool.
she had the
She got to meet
opportunity to interact
everybody.
with them. And,
Mhm.
I know, again, all three of Jeanette, Florian, Dr. Q, they really enjoy being able to interact with the fans. Jeanette in particular has always told me, because she'll get booked for like these corporate gigs and things like
Right.
that with people that aren't from, they aren't part of Poolplayer Nation, right? They're just kind of people. And I know, and she appreciates that kind of work, but she really loves being with she considers them her people, right? The
She
pool
does.
players, because they appreciate her not for her looks or her notoriety. They appreciate her for her, abilities on the pool table, her perseverance, and her ability to continue to play after all these years and all the challenges she's faced. So, for her to be able to get back to Vegas and be around them, I know it's good for her, and and obviously I think it's good for Poolplayer Nation as well. So.
Yeah, she's such a great person, too.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to kind of transition to back to pool. So now we're back from Vegas.
It is back to pool. Well,
Time to get back to pool,
I
right?
came back from Vegas to put my kids on the
school bus?
Well, no, my kids don't ride the bus. We took them to school that first day, but it was the next morning.
The very next morning they went back to school.
I had to figure out a way
they?
to, so I had to figure out a way to get up early in the morning. But yeah, so the kids go back to school, and league we go back to pool, right? That's why we do that always in August and early September around the country is back to pool time. So
most people have probably already started back to the fall session. Some of you have probably started in August. Some of you start in September, different times. I know depending on the area that you're from, depending on the league area. But a lot of you are getting back to pool. So we always like to kind of mention the different kind of resources that we have out there. We've got the new rules website that we unveiled earlier this year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of all in one spot, and it's much easier to navigate, I think, than its predecessors. So, I know there's always times at league night when you need to be able to access a rule here and there. So that, what is it, rules.poolplayers.com?
Rules.poolplayers.com.
Check that out. It's got some videos and stuff on there, too, if you're not familiar with the scorekeeping and all that.
There is. So rather than, you still got the traditional, like, pull out the team manual if you want to. But the nice thing about rules.poolplayers.com is it's really searchable. So you can go on there and search for a term, like, say, ball in hand or something like that. You can go search.
Rack.
Yeah, rack. Yes. You can go search
pool terms. Pool's got some great terms.
We do have some great terms in pool, which we talked about doing some videos about.
I was wondering, did we ever shoot those videos?
We did not, because we came in here and our pool table was missing.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We
came to the studio. The pool table was missing.
Studio.
We did find it later, but
squirrel,
it was missing.
like, I know we're getting off topic here. Yeah, I came into the studio the morning to shoot some videos, and I'm like, hey guys, our pool table is missing from the studio.
There's definitely some terms in the pool world that if you're not around pool players, they look at you, give you the side eye, like, what?
Yeah, so we talked about shooting some TikToks, some videos about pool's misunderstood terms.
Yeah, we need to do that. We're going to do that. That's a future project, so don't give it away.
We won't give it away.
It's some funny stuff.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
If you guys have ideas, although this could be, like, we could go down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
Asking for ideas for this one. But
I know. I almost want to just laugh thinking about some of them.
I know. We have a list. We have a list, but we do need to shoot that. We will do it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But the rules website, yes, it's searchable. It's a good one. You guys should all It's easy to use on League Night, rules.poolplayers.com. We've also got, again, our YouTube channel that you can check out.
Ton of instruction there.
Tons of instruction.
I was thinking back over the years. I mean, we started doing that with Dr. Q, like,
oh,
maybe
gosh.
before YouTube. I don't even know if YouTube was a thing when we started doing that.
I feel like it was really kind of the start of our YouTube channel, almost.
Yeah, so that was like some of the original content.
If it was like when I started, or like a little even maybe before I started-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got stuff from Dr. Q on there.
It's like how to make the 8 on the break is like one of the most viewed videos on that entire channel.
To this date, it is one of our most popular, which obviously it's been on there for longer.
It's been on there 20 years. So,
right, for
go
20
figure.
plus years. It's one of our most popular videos. But we have stuff from Dr. Q. We've got stuff from Florian. He's got a whole bunch of instruction on there.
We've got instruction. Corey Duel. Jeremy Jones.
His stuff's very popular that we have on our channel.
That's some of the newer stuff,
some of our newer stuff.
I would be curious who Pool Player Nation would like to hear
That's a good question.
more instruction from. Maybe they can get some comments going here about who you'd like to learn more from, whether that's Jeremy or some of the other players out there. But
if we were going to do more instruction, who do you guys want to hear from? Who would you want to hear from?
There you go.
More instruction. Tell us. We want to know.
All right.
And we've got some more stuff coming up here. I know we've got
Florian's
coming in town
soon.
in a couple weeks, and we're going to shoot some more stuff with him, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our TikTok channel. We've got some, it's obviously shorter form content on there, but there is some instructional type of stuff on there with more to come.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check out all of those.
Back to pool.
Places. Get back to pool.
Get re-educated.
It's
like me trying to get my kids to do their homework.
Is that a struggle?
Oh,
it is a struggle, isn't it?
My daughter went into 5th grade, and she came home and she said, "I'm supposed to have homework every day." I said, "Welcome to the real world, kid."
I know, right?
That's the way it goes. And meanwhile, my 2nd grade son's just laughing about it. Like, your time's coming, buddy. Don't be laughing. Your time's coming. But there is that adjustment. It's like getting them back to reading every night and getting them off the tablets, which is always a thing.
Yeah.
So. Back to school, back to pool.
Back to pool.
One of those sounds more fun than the other, doesn't it?
One of them sounds a lot more fun than the other, I think.
Right.
For you guys, too.
Nice.
But we on social media, we asked you guys, what are your goals for getting back to for back to pool for this fall session? So these are there might be a few good ones in here. So let's read a few of these that you guys said on social media, what your goals were for this fall session. Okay. So I'll read the first couple. She plays pool. This was an Instagram one, so it's just her handle here. She said, I want to live up to being a 6 and more. I would like to be the highest ranking woman, girl, female in my league. So that's pretty cool.
Solid.
Yeah, solid. Selena Cousins, she said, to keep growing my skills and encourage new players in low skill levels to never give up. It does and will get better. Above all else, have fun and meet new people. It's a great goal.
Mm-hmm. John Hummel wants to continue to improve as a captain, lead his team to the division champs, and get qualified for the chance to play in Vegas. Sounds like a good goal.
Sounds like a
fall
good goal.
Session, John.
Good goal.
Chris Hope. Chris Hope wants to piss my team off by drinking too much, but still staying 100%.
It's a good. It's a good goal, right?
I wonder if he's the captain of that team.
I don't know. He didn't specify.
No, he just wants to piss him off by drinking too much, but still
staying
stay 100%.
I mean, he still wants to stay 100.
Does that mean like good, staying 100% himself, or 100%
I mean,
like
maybe just staying like 100 focused, like still playing his best.
Okay.
Good luck.
To each his own, Chris.
George Critelli says to continue to enjoy playing with family and friends. And David McGee, consistency in my game and sharing a fun time with my team and my opponents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff Ellsworth wants to win MVP for 8-ball or 9-ball. He's not picky, or both, maybe.
Both.
And to get our team to win one or both and qualify for regionals. George Layton. Do we know George?
That that sound really familiar to me too.
On the West Coast, George?
Oh, is that the one from the West Coast?
I think
maybe.
So. He wants to win his first APA championship. I don't know if that means locally or regionally
nationally.
or whatever, but it seems like a good goal.
Adam Perez wants to drive the league operator crazy.
I'm sure he's not the only one.
I'm sure he probably not.
There's a few of those out there.
And Thomas Gibson wants to get qualified for playoffs and start the journey back to Vegas next summer. Always a good goal.
Yeah. Kim Platt, she actually had pointed these. Number 1, she wants to have fun. Seems like a good goal.
Good goal.
Number 2 wants to improve her shots. I assume she means on the pool table.
I'm assuming, but you never know.
She could be a bartender, maybe.
She could be.
And the third one, she's going to keep to herself. So
that's wide open.
Interesting.
Wide open.
I'll keep that to myself. But wanted to keep it to herself, but wanted to put it in the response, which is interesting. And then Felipe Silva. This is interesting. To have my game flow like water and not dog water.
I think that's.
I feel bad for his dog. What's the not dog water.
Not dog water.
Ooh,
well,
dog water.
That's.
Sometimes my dog drinks out of the toilet.
My dog actually does drink out of the toilet more often than I'd like to say.
So he wants it to flow like water and not toilet water?
So he's saying he wants his game to be better.
We should have
done
a follow-up comment there.
Interpret that.
Need to reach back.
We'll reach back
maybe
out
he'll be
to
on the next
Felipe.
interview.
We'll see. Felipe, let us know what you meant by dog water.
Felipe, give the dog some fresh water, please. They do like the cold water, too.
They do.
We're dog people here. Come on now.
We love our dogs, even though they drink out of the toilet.
You gotta put the seat down.
I know. My daughter does not leave the seat down.
Okay.
Anyways. Good luck with everybody getting back to pool, though.
Yep, I like the goals. I think they all seem pretty doable from what I read.
Yeah, the ones that I saw the most in there when I was reading through the comments, which y'all comments are, you'll have to go read through them. Let's just say that.
Okay, I figured we had the PG ones.
We did have the very, very PG ones. But MVP, qualifying for Vegas, being more consistent, that's what I saw the most of, besides the ones that I won't remain unnamed.
Oh.
You know, the stuff we see the most of that people talk about, you know, that term we see the most talked about that shall remain unnamed.
I don't know. I'm not sure if we're on the same page.
Oh, okay.
You have to tell me afterwards.
I'll tell you afterwards.
All right, so before we wrap up the show, I got a special surprise for you.
It's a surprise?
I had the production team put this together.
Oh, good.
Because since we did the interview from the 8-Ball World Champions, I wanted to go back to juniors because we had juniors in the end of June, early July, and Becky does the post-match interviews. You know, there's always so we talked to Brad and Bree. It's interesting when you do the post-match interviews, like sometimes the players or the teams aren't quite ready, right? And then when they have some time to absorb, they're a little more ready. But in this case, it was really the interviewee that was a little not ready. And so let's take a look at this clip, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Cameron.
No, Cameron. Nope. It's Nathan.
Nathan, I apologize.
No, it's good.
You didn't know, right? Congratulations, Nathan.
Thank you.
I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey to get here.
No comment.
No. So what would you say to aspiring pool players, to people who maybe, to kids who might be looking to start playing pool?
No comment.
All right, sorry. We had to have a little fun at Becky's expense, but that was, to me, was hilarious when not only when it happened. Now, in fairness, first of all, that's Nathan. He is one of our champions from the Juniors Championship.
It's not Cameron.
And I did have them cut that up a little bit, so there was certainly more substance to the interview than that. But just
there was,
you know, that's just classic interviews gone wrong. And,
it is.
And I'm sure you were glad that we pulled that one out and reused it for sure. And I'm sure Nathan was as well. But it's all good. It's all fun. You did it. You had a nice recovery there.
I did the best I could.
It's not easy, right?
It is not
people don't understand, especially people are in, you're just meeting people for the first time.
Right.
And So that's Nathan, not Cameron.
That is Nathan, not Cameron.
Yes.
And those names will forever live in my brain. Like,
Yeah,
I will
you'll
never forget those two names.
You'll probably never mistake an interview name again, probably.
I will never. That is never. I've been at the company for 16 years, and I've never done that before. Ever.
No
in an
comment.
interview. No comment.
Do you think he just didn't have a lot to say on what you were asking, or was
he-
he upset with it? You called him by the wrong name.
I don't think he was upset by that.
Just
'Cause he
wasn't
just
sure.
kind of like didn't seem to care about that part of it. I think he just didn't have much, he's
Yeah.
like what, 15,
Yeah,
16 years
yeah.
old, and I think,
It's pretty
it's
common
not
in the
that-
post-match interview that
is,
somebody's
it's-
just
it
not,
is.
feel. You say, "How does it feel to be the new champion?" They're like, "Great."
yeah, especially for a
Give it a little bit
kid,
more.
it's
Yeah.
not the easiest thing when you put a microphone in their face.
Well, yeah.
But that is definitely top of the list of most mortifying things for myself.
Well, we
At
appreciate-
least I can laugh about it.
Yes.
That's all you can do. I was hoping, that would go in the go in the
File it
the
away,
file
never be
and
seen
never
again.
be seen again. But that's okay. I can laugh at myself.
Okay. I just had to throw because we mentioned it in the last episode.
We
so I
did.
felt like I
did.
had to follow it up in this episode. So we're laughing with you, not at
yeah,
you. I
at
promise.
least you're laughing
think.
with me.
You're laughing. So
I'm
we're with
laughing.
you. Okay.
I'm laughing.
She's laughing
Afterwards, I
now.
was a
She may
little
not
bit,
be she may not be laughing after this segment, but
No,
she's laughing.
I
now.
can laugh about it. It's funny. I was mortified afterwards. I went backstage. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did that. But they were all laughing.
Yeah.
And Jason's my boss, so if he's laughing, then that's what matters.
I've been there,
right?
done that. I've announced the wrong name before myself, so it's an awkward moment, but you move on.
It is definitely
Move
awkward,
on.
but what are you gonna do?
All right. Well, that seems like the best way to wrap up
I
this
think so.
episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, embarrass ourselves a little bit and then move on.
No comment.
No comment. All right.
All right, that's another episode of the APA Poolplayer Nation podcast. Thank you all for tuning in.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to all of our places.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
We need that.
We do. We need it. And we appreciate you guys
Absolutely.
for doing that.
Appreciate you all tuning in.
We do.
See you next time.
All right. Take care, guys.